I'm getting some calls and messages from some inspiring people. But this video is for all of my relatives who's telling me to shut up. To shut up. And I'm telling you now, I refuse to be silent anymore concerning being sexually abused. Do you know that the last time anyone have ever sexually abused me or have been raped was when I was 32 years old? I am only 33 years old. I'm only 33. This happened last year. You understand me? I am not going to be silent anymore. My question to my relatives, where were you? Where were you to tell me that a man touching you is inappropriate? Where were you? Where were you? You were nowhere to be found. Where were you? Where were you when I needed somebody to hug me and tell me, it's okay, Alicia. It's okay. It's going to be okay. Where were you? You were nowhere to be found. Where were you when my mind was so messed up that the only life I thought I could live was being a prostitute? Huh? Where were you when I was hungry and I felt like, you know what? People are taking it from me. People are taking it from me and I'm hungry. I'm hungry. I have nowhere to live. You understand me? Where were you? You were nowhere. You were so busy being in your own business. You had no time to check mine or to find out what's going on. You were nowhere. You were nowhere. Where were you when I end up being in relationships and getting pregnant and have to get an abortions and feel the baby ripped from my womb? Where were you? Where were you when I had to suffer through miscarriages? Where were you when I was raped last year and I had a miscarriage? Where were you? You were nowhere to be found. Nowhere. You are not going to silence me anymore because I'm going to be free. I'm going to be free from this kind of life. I'm going to take back everything that's been taken from me. I'm going to live a life. One day I'm going to be happy. I've not had a happy day. Where were you when I ended up marrying a man twice my age? Huh? And I had to go through emotional, mental, and physical abuse. Where were you when I was paralyzed in the hospital? I couldn't walk. And I've been in pain for 9 years now. I have to walk with a cane. Where were you when I'm on the street walking with a cane and some of these insecure people would look at me and start to mock me on the street and insult me because I have a limp and I walk with a cane? Where were you? Not one of you reached out your hand to me. Not one of you. I refuse to be silent. I refuse to be silent. I'm taking back my voice. I'm taking back every life that's been drained from me, because the only person that's been there for me is Jesus Christ. The only person that's been there for me has been God. He's been the only person to comfort me at night when I'm hugging a pillow, telling me my child is going to be all right. I'm going to bring you out of this someday. It's going to be all right. You were nowhere to be found. And if he is enabling me to speak, I'm going to speak. And every day he put breath in my lungs and he puts a smile on my face. I'm going to tell this world from now on, you know what? Abuse is not the end, because even though I can't see the blessings now, I know this is not the end of my life. This is not my life anymore. I am victorious. I am a conqueror. I'm going to be great. You know what? This pain no longer defines who I am, but it's going to push me to who I'm going to be, and I'm going to be somebody great. No more will I be eating the better part of the pig food that comes for the family. Where were you when that's all I had to eat? Where were you when I was living on the streets with a baby girl? Living on the streets for 10 months with a baby girl. Sleeping on the beach, being homeless. Where were you? You were nowhere. Nowhere. And if me speaking is going to help somebody else be free, I'm going to keep talking. I'm going to keep talking every single day. I'm going to do it. I'm gonna do it. You are no longer gonna silence me no more. And if you want to disown me, it is okay. I've walked this life by myself with just Jesus walking with me and comforting me every day. You are nowhere to be found. Nowhere. And I'm telling you, people, I'm telling you, I know that a lot of people don't want to talk. And if I am end up being the face of somebody who's sharing this, then so be it. I am no longer ashamed of what I've been through. I'm no longer carrying this burden. It's not mine anymore. No. I refuse to be silent now. I want to laugh with joy in my heart now. I want to be free, and I'm gonna be free. I'm gonna be free.
Today, I want this young lady to come before you and share with you some of the conversations that we have had and some of the conversations that we have not had. Welcome to the United States. This is the first day of the rest of your new life. Come on up.
All right. Hi, everyone. It's really good to be here, and it's a refreshing start for me as it pertains to my book, Silent War for Love. Unique name it is, and you would read on the back of it, a slight, or I should say, it would introduce you to just a piece of what I've been through. And in sharing with Aubrey these past 2 late nights, some of the things that I've been through, I always felt like I deserved to go through them, And I was told I deserve it because I'm of no good anyhow. So my book is about my fight from conception, because my mom was a virgin. She was 14 years old, and my dad raped her. And his mom watched while he did it and was cheering him on. And my mom couldn't go back home because my grandmother, the old sayings in Barbados is that whatever bed you made, you lie in it. So she automatically thought that my mom made that bed, so she had to stay in it. And I was conceived from that experience. My dad used to beat her up like really badly, as my mom shared with me. She said, he didn't just slap me, he used to kick me and punch me as if he wanted you to just die in my stomach, but God kept you alive. And when I reached 4 years old, a friend of the family introduced himself to me, and he asked me, do you want me to be your dad? I was like, okay, cool, that's fine. And he said, but we have to do daddy and daughter things. And he introduced me to oral sex, performing oral on him. And he would say, don't stop till you get the milk, because the milk is good for your body. We know that's semen. And from 4 till 6, that's what I had to do almost every day. Sundays was a break, and then other things led from there. But his words to me were that this is how people show love to each other, by sexual penetration. This is how you show someone that you love them, by having sex with them. If you didn't give your body to a man or a woman, you didn't love them. And this was embedded in me from a young child. My family, they didn't teach me or talk about what's right or wrong touch. So my life was surrounded with this mindset. And it was hard to shake from it as I got older, because every experience that you would read in my book, it surrounds being abused sexually, emotionally, mentally, verbally. And I raised up in a home where it was, it was really poor. Poor as in we couldn't afford the R because it was a bit too rich for us. So we had to be, we had to remain a little poor. And There were days when the food came for the pigs and it was like, if you don't eat some of that pig food, you're gonna starve. And that's how that's how I was raised. When the rain fell, it fell. If you didn't try to get to the driest part of the house, you would be soaked. You know, this is part of my life. I've been through homelessness, sleeping on the streets as a woman. I didn't dig through the garbage cans. I had a little bit more pride in that. But, you know, I did beg because I was hungry. I went into prostitution because I felt like, okay, you know, people are just taking my body, so let me just, you know, let this work for me and bring in some income. And, you know, throughout my lifetime, you can say there have been about 14 to 16 persons who've abused me, including being gangbanged. And one thing that stayed sure for me was my relationship with God when I was younger. You know, there was this tree in the back of the house, and I used to go there, and I would sit and I would write and I would draw because I love sketching. And I would just write these little stories to God and say, you know, love letters to him, how much I love him, and I just want him to just hold me every day. I don't understand why my body feels the way it feels, why I feel emotional, why I feel angry, and I'm not able to speak about it. And as I got older, after my abusive marriage, going through being paralyzed from the neck down and not being able to walk, because I was a ballet dancer and I used to do track and field, I was a gymnast. So having that stripped from me, it was really emotional, and no one could understand why I got extremely quiet, why I got angry. Not angry at God. I got angry at myself because I felt like it was my fault that I no longer had my ability to walk or to be able to do the things that I love to do. And then I'm having my family members and friends are telling me, you know, you can do better, or laughing at me and pointing at me and saying, oh, you're walking with a limp, oh, you're no good anymore, oh, you're not pretty anymore, you're not sexy anymore, you know, you've lost it. Hearing that every day, apart from being told as a young child growing up that I'm ugly and the dirt is prettier than I am. You know, all these things just overwhelmed me. And I went on antidepressants for a while because I was suicidal a lot. And one day I was singing to God, and I was saying, God, you know, I just need you because I have no one else. You know, everyone just turned their back on me a lot. And I'm always misunderstood, but you understand me. And I need you. I need you to be here for me. You know, every relationship I've been in, I've been replaced with someone else. In my marriage or my first boyfriend, it's like, oh, the ride was good, but, you know, I'm tired now. I need to move on. And I always felt like I was never good enough for anyone, not to be a wife, not to be a girlfriend, and a friend, because my friends replaced me. So I'm like, what is wrong with me? You know, and I started to pick myself. You ever pick yourself apart where you felt like you need to change everything, you need to fix everything that everyone is telling you is so wrong with you? And the thing is, even when you're fixing it, they still see that it's a problem. And I did that. But then one day God said, you know, you've become quiet. You're no longer singing, you're no longer worshiping, you've become quiet. And I said, what do you mean by become quiet? I'm still talking, I don't understand. He said, you know, abuse takes your voice from you. Every time you're abused or every time someone insults you, it takes away power from you, the ability to be able to speak, the ability to be able to assert yourself and say, you know, I am this person, or I am that, or I'm not this and I am not that. Every time someone verbally insults you or someone physically hit you, you know, you shut in a shell, because then you no longer want to look at yourself. You think that you automatically became ugly. You're no longer presentable or beautiful. And I said, okay, so you become silent. I said, okay, so how am I going to get back my voice then? He said, the one thing that have given you power throughout the years is writing. You need to write. I said, okay, cool. So then I started to write, and I said, all right, the first part of the book, the first book I should say, was A Silent War. Okay, that was finished. And then the next one was My Fight for Love. And then I sat, I was finished with that one. I said, okay, what's next, Lord? And then God said to me, it's one book though. You need to blend them together. And each chapter just blended together. The first chapter in each book was the ending to the next one. And I'm like, this is so cool. This is so amazing. And, this has been a long journey where I felt, discouraged and that the publishing would never happen because nothing good happens for Alicia. That's all I have always felt, or I've always repeated or regurgitated from what's been told to me. Nothing good happens for me. And I would have my friend encourage me sometimes and tell me, you can do it. It's going to happen. You might not see it now, but it's going to happen. And the purpose of my book is to help every abused person gain their voice. First off, you have to see that you've been abused in some way, some form or fashion, and you've lived your life according to that abuse. The way you treat someone else is based on what was done to you. You try not to do bad to people, but then it comes out, and you're wondering why? It's because you haven't dealt with or you haven't recognized that you've been abused in some way, in some form or some fashion. And my book is about that, is about enlightening you about being abused, the forms of abuse that there is, and how you can get through it, and how you can begin to get back your voice by speaking, talking about it. No one likes to hear gruesome stories. Everyone thinks that you need to be quiet. You need to just say, oh, I've been through that, but don't share details. But it's in the details, when you share them, that you begin to get free. You become free. It's shameful or it's embarrassing, yes, to share your pain. But from the time you begin to share your pain, the shame is lifted. And that's what I've begun to do. And that's what I've done. And I'm not sorry about writing this book. I'm very happy about it. I feel very blessed that I've completed it. And I thank everyone who have already pre-ordered. I thank everyone who bought it already without me being, without me knowing at this moment. And I thank Aubrey too for connecting with me. And we had our moments where we shared, our experiences, and we didn't want to leap out and connect, but I'm glad that we did. And I know that this journey is going to be one of power, and it's not going to stop. And I just thank everyone here who, who's cheering on each other. And I just pray that as this train keeps going, we stay on it. And there's no looking back, and there's no going back. Because all of us have a voice, and we all need to speak. And I thank you for listening to my voice as I regain mine. Thank you.